The first thing I hear from Joburg buyers, I wish I could just have my house here. Oh, okay.
Yeah, just move the
Oh, me too, yeah.
Whereas like in Joburg, if you're buying a fixer-upper, you really can get a steal. Whereas here, it's not a steal.
Yeah.
They know you're buying the position, the land and
itself,
the bones of
located.
the house. They know that the kitchen hasn't been touched in 40 years and the bathrooms have
Yeah.
green tiles. And,
Or a slither
you
of
know,
mountain view
yeah,
just
yeah,
increases
exactly.
that.
Thank you so much for joining us today for the viewers, and thank you so much for you guys, Byron and Tasmin, for joining us today, and Gabriel, we love having you here. It's such a pleasure. Thank you so much. Just to give you a little bit of introduction, both myself and Gabriel have assisted Byron and Tasmin in securing the property, which is a plot and plan purchase that they secured, and we assisted with securing the best possible interest rate. Yes, yay, all high fives. And yeah, we're just here to unpack their story a little bit today. So yeah, I'd just like to say thank you once again for joining us today and making the time. So guys, yeah, just tell me a bit about your story. You know, I know that we just mentioned that you've moved over from Johannesburg to Cape Town. And tell me a bit about that, you know, like what your process was involving you moving over to Cape Town, coming from Johannesburg, and then, you know, the thought process behind looking for a property and searching for that property in Cape Town, because I know it's quite a big experience. You know, it's quite a daunting experience to move cities and let alone and buy property, you know, in a town that you weren't very familiar with.
No.
Yes, yeah. So living in Joburg, we're lucky enough that we were able to make the decision based on work as well as lifestyle, that we thought about where we wanted to be. We both work from home, so we were able to have that flexibility to decide where we wanted to be. And when we thought long term, it kind of was a no-brainer that we wanted to be in Cape Town, in the Cape. And so we made the move down here. Sold up in Johannesburg, which was not a great situation, selling when the property market's not doing so well there. But yeah, we were able to sell there, move down here, and then we rented down here while we looked for property, because we didn't want to make a decision without fully having lived here, experienced the different suburbs and the intricacies of the neighborhoods.
That was very wise to do that, yeah. I think just to
We
get
thought about it first. We had a rough idea of the areas we wanted to be in, but I definitely think having lived here, you know, found out where everything is, it definitely gave us a better idea of exactly where we'd want to be and where we could and couldn't be.
Yeah, and the different pockets.
Yeah, there
Cape
were
Town's got
ideas of
very,
where we
like,
thought.
lots of pockets, and they can vary and change within a matter of like meters even.
Yeah.
So we just want to make sure that we were making the right decision, especially with the prices that you're having to pay in Cape Town.
Yeah.
Didn't want to just settle and
Yeah,
purchase
so it was
something
a
on a
big
whim.
commitment, and I definitely do think it was worthwhile in the long run, you know, renting for a bit so that we could really be here, because also with the property market being so hot here at the moment, you kind of need to make a decision very quickly. You can't sit on it, and if the property's priced right in the right areas, it's not sitting. So you've got to make a quick decision, and I think you pretty much need to be here to do that.
Yeah.
boots on the ground, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Completely. And then when we were ready, we finally had like kind of made an idea of where we wanted to look for property. We decided that the best way to go about it was to get pre-approval from the banks in order to go and show that we were, you know, like definite buyers. Because that's the only way the agents will actually even listen to you, is if you actually have proof that you've got the cash behind.
Yeah, so with working with all the agents, so Tam actually, she got in touch with all the agents and beforehand and was sending them, you know, where the areas we wanted to be in and our budget and things, and we're waiting for them to, because a lot of the properties don't even make it onto Property 24. They get sold before that. So we wanted to be in that, you know, on their mailing lists and that. And so Tam contacted them, and then after we had gotten the pre-approval from the bond with you, then we sent that to them, and we actually definitely found there was an increase in
response.
in their response.
There
from
was
the
very
developer-
little
I mean, from
response
the
prior to
agents.
that.
Yeah.
And the minute I sent them the pre-approval, then they were happy
So,
to
yeah.
engage.
Engage,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, so that's definitely a a little learning.
Shows that they're
that,
serious
yeah.
buyers.
Help
Yeah.
me, help you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And as Gabriel, we were chatting about earlier, where you were saying that people say, oh, but I promise you I can afford this. I promise you I can. But what the banks look at and what we know we can afford and what the banks actually look at and are willing to give to a bond may be very different things. So, you kind of need that. And I think the agents know that. And so, once you've got that pre-approval, it definitely helps.
In Sweden, you cannot get access to a unit without showing the agent your pre-approval. We are moving to that stage in our market share because of experiences like you guys have had, where there is a lot of competition, and it's very difficult for one agent to siphon through that in such a quick time and then hope and trust on a word. So the more you're able to help the agent, the more they can do for you.
And that process can take long. I mean, for people to get bond approvals, if they only start at the offer to purchase stage, you as an agent can't wait 3 weeks while the property sits or something like that.
Definitely not, because you're plugging in a deal and you're giving that trust to the purchaser as well as the seller. So you've got to be able to give some certainty on that, and having a written pre-approval, not a pre-qualification off a calculator or a quick call, that is more or less
100%.
guaranteed. I know there could still be, but it's as best as you could hope for to show that you can be good for the finance.
Be good for the finance. Yeah, there's a lot riding on that. Even for you, like you just touched on, Gabriel, for the seller and for you as the buyer, there's a lot of anxiety that goes into signing an offer to purchase. So I'm sure that for yourselves, knowing that we were pre-approved, we had our finance sorted, you could confidently sign that long offer to purchase document that's quite with all those legal terms involved. And you're like, I'm going to look good at the end of this. It's going to come out tops. So I'm so glad that it went that way for you, because you need that reassurance as a buyer. And especially that you own a business, as well.
Yes, that makes it trickier.
Yeah. That there are, intricacies involved with that process. And so,
self-employed's a more difficult or more onerous application, right? So it's even
Exactly.
more beneficial to do your homework and get your pre-approval, because your bond approval is a fait accompli, so to speak.
Correct.
And whether that's one of you or both of us, because the banks don't just look at one spouse, especially if you're both earning. Everybody needs to submit all the
And
docs.
if there's a family business involved, it becomes
also
a lot
more,
harder, and
but-
it was a complicated case,
Yes, exactly.
especially for yourself. And working with yourself is definitely
we
the
wouldn't
best
have been
part of the
able to do it.
process.
I'm so glad. I'm so happy to hear this. High fives all round.
Everyone says that about Olen.
Definitely. Thank you. And just to say that you guys are blessed with Gabriel as well. I just need to say this because Gabriel, you are a seasoned, estate agent, and you know this. You navigate this area so amazingly well. And I can see that from where I sit as a professional, and people entrusting you to say, this is the person you should go to. I'm sure that you felt that trust.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
No, I'd often was nagging Gabriel, okay, I've seen this property. You'd pull all the stats. No, don't do this for this reason, or no, this is what you got to watch out for, and it's bought for this and sold for this. And
There's a lot of
it was
heart
very
that goes
valuable
into it.
to have that,
That's exactly what I meant to say. There's so much heart that goes into it with Gabriel, and that you can just feel the sincerity involved, and knowing that he's got your best interest at heart. So I think that goes a long way with, you can feel that it's actually authenticity. They want you to win, which is like Gabriel and myself. They want
Exactly.
you to
It
win.
becomes
That's
a
what I
team
mean.
effort.
Yes.
It's not just
And very personalized between the both of you. It's a very personalized experience.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
That's the most important thing.
you.
And that's all that
Thank you.
really matters. You
personal
watch these shows on TV, and the first thing the agents always say is, I'm so passionate about property. I am not passionate about property. I like property. We all need to live somewhere, of course. I'm passionate about this. I'm passionate when I drive past the house I've sold and the son and father are playing soccer in the driveway at night. Or I'm seeing a family go to the local park. I made that happen. I get such a great feeling out of that, because that is the true hallmark of a deal. It fits.
There we go.
And to
There we
see
go.
the fruits thereafter is
100%.
really
It's
cool.
so fulfilling.
It actually makes you forget any amount of money you've earned, because that goodwill and that energy will survive for quite some time, and that's
Amazing.
exciting. I like it.
Incredible. I love that. I'm getting goosies. Can I buy a property from you now? I want that too.
But on that note, what I'm seeing in the market,
Yes.
and that's why I'm moving towards creating more of a buyer's agency, is that because we are in a tough market and things are
Yes.
moving, buyers are needing more and more and more help. So the
100%.
traditional
You
farming
have
model and the
to.
traditional big agents, they don't represent buyers. So Tam had sent an email to all the agents, and I've seen that before, and that data gets saved on the system, and it's up to the individual agents in those various suburbs to go and extract that data. I operate everywhere, so I keep my clientele small so that I can focus on achieving an outcome with serious buyers. And the first thing I do is connect them with Olen if they need finance, because you cannot do anything if you haven't got your pre-approval. Well, I can't do much. I can't shop on a word.
Yeah,
So
no,
that
definitely.
to any buyer needs to be the first point of call. Get hold of your bond originator, get your pre-approval, have it in your hand. If you walk in at the first viewing and give that to the agent and then
It's a
request an
game
offer,
changer.
that agent is going to push the deal through for
Yeah,
you because you're
definitely.
helping them.
Definitely.
So
You want to
any
be
buyer-
pushed to the top of the list, and that's
Yeah.
what's going to get you there.
That's what's going to get you there. And now I'd like to actually just touch on where we got to after that, on that note, Tamsin, because that was exciting. I remember chasing up with you. Probably thought, Olen, what's happening here? Because I kept checking in with you guys and like, how's the shopping process going? How are you guys going? And it's a lengthy process. Like you say, it must be the right fit. You know, and it's for your family, it's your dream home. So tell me a little bit about that experience, about, finding this ideal property that we eventually went forward with.
So, I mean, I think we actually got lucky. I think we were looking for just under a year,
Yeah.
which is very lucky
I mean,
considering.
we've had our eyes open for
Yeah.
2 years really since we
Yeah.
decided to move down to Cape Town. But, we moved down December before last. So we've been down 14 months now. And yeah, so we had been looking the whole time, but seriously looking for the last year. Yeah.
Yeah, and we went to a number of viewings of houses and full-time
Yeah.
job. And also what we were seeing, obviously we were coming from Joburg and we knew what we could purchase with our budget there, and then coming to Cape Town and seeing what we could purchase with our budget here was very eye-opening.
Yeah, takes a while to adjust your
takes a while
perception of
to
value
adjust.
from
Yes.
Joburg. Yeah, exactly. The first couple of viewings, you kind of
Yeah.
thrown off, but then you kind of
Yeah.
getting assimilated to what the market's actually like.
The first thing I hear from Joburg buyers, I wish I could just have my house here. Oh, okay.
Yeah, just move the
Oh, me too, yeah. I wish I was a billionaire.
same bricks, same cement.
Space.
Yeah. And you're faced with there's not a lot of developments like what we've gone for, but you're also faced with whether you want to put more money in and buy something that's kind of like move-in ready, or you want to redo. And those are the kind of the two paths you have to decide, whether you're going to do like a fixer-upper and buy a little cheaper. But with that also comes its own headaches
Yeah.
and challenges.
But they're not even that much cheaper. I think because
No.
of the way the market is at the moment, I don't know if it's people are leaning towards the fixer-uppers more because that's the only place you can almost get value at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, whereas like in Joburg, if you're buying a fixer-upper, you really can get a steal. Whereas here, it's not a steal.
Yeah.
They know you're buying the position, the land, and
itself,
the bones of the
location.
house. They know that the kitchen hasn't been touched in 40 years, and the bathrooms have
Yeah.
green tiles. And,
Or a slither
you
of
know,
mountain view
yeah,
just
yeah,
increases
exactly.
that.
So yeah, there's that adjustment of value. But like once we had adjusted to that, we had an idea of places, suburbs and where we wanted to be, and budget-wise where we needed to be.
And value.
That budget
Yeah.
kept getting pushed up and pushed up.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember us speaking about that, and we were at one stage at one pricing level, and then it was like, and then Byron made that call to me. He's like, Olen, let's go absolute maximum.
So, yeah, give me a number and we'll try and make it work. Yeah, how
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
do some financial gymnastics to buy a house that we're not gonna basically grow out of in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
We want to get our forever home, and
And that's what this is. Yeah. It's our
within
forever
reason.
home.
Yeah, it's we spend more than what we wanted to, but at the end of the day, looking back on it now, value for money wise, where we're going to be, I think it's
We
a
wouldn't
great
change
bus-
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'd be happy with our
But
decision.
you see, in order to reach that conclusion, you need to spend time in the
needed
market.
to.
And that you got to get in and you got to get your ducks in a row. Because even with your ducks in a row, you may miss out. But that missing out experience allows you to find what you ultimately settle on. You didn't tick all your boxes. Because you had to go up on budget and we sacrificed slightly on location. But when we sat down at the end of the day, we did a really good thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, we just feel like we've unlocked a lot of value, which made a lot of financial sense for us, which you got to choose what's more important to you. And that really was very important to us, that we had unlocking value into a place and we weren't going to lose out like we did when we sold our property in Johannesburg, which was, hard. It's your hard-earned cash that you don't want to lose at the end of the day.
Part with, yes, exactly. And, with that comes a lot of more intention, I think, with how you've done things, with coming from, and you can only go up from an experience like that. So, and I think that I believe you have achieved that, coming from that experience. And look, we've just chatted about, it's currently in the building works, but it's worth already much more than what you initially bought it for. So I think that brings a lot of comfort.
Yes, absolutely. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and we only own the land.
Yeah. So we just got the land. Yeah.
Amazing. That's incredible. And so, just tell me a bit about the emotions that went in whilst we were busy with the banks. So we've got the documents in, we've got the signed offer, we've made our decision. How were the emotions in that time? How did you feel? Just that waiting period, that quiet period, while Olen's in the back there cooking up something.
I think we were, by that point, we'd wrapped our minds around it and we'd kind of really spoken about it. And I think we were very, at that point, even happy with our decision, confident with our decision. So I don't think it was too daunting at the time necessarily. Like you always want to know you're making the best decision, but it was an educated decision. Yeah.
You'd given us a lot of comfort to, I don't know, I never felt worried or uncertain. I just felt like you'd do the best that you could for us, and you definitely, outdid yourself.
Us the bond we got a bond above what we were initially set out to. That was a huge win, where we've got 500,000 more than planned. And then that gives us a little bit more flexibility in terms of, building budgets.
Building budget, that was nice actually, that we came in a little bit extra, and then we went back to them and said, no.
And then the rate?
No. We're not happy about this rate. Because it's a building bond. So normally the banks mitigate the risk with the rate. So we find sometimes in the marketplace that the building loan rates differ in that sense with because there's a risk of having those progress draws and everything. But then we were like, but these are great clients, look at all of the other factors involved, and that's what I love about, that's what fulfills me, like the hallmark moment that fulfills you, Gabriel. For me, it's about like outdoing the initial expectation. So I needed to do, like, that's for me, because you entrusted me with so much, I feel indebted to you, and that's what for me, my hallmark moment was.
No, and massive thank you for that, because
thank
we were happy. We had gotten the quote of the rate and everything, and we were basically signed and locked it in, and you came back saying, I've worked more on it and I've got you even more. Which is incredible. I mean, and we all know with the interest rates being what they are, every little bit makes a huge...
And here's the beauty.
Definitely.
Here's the beauty. Olen works for free. She doesn't take a cent from you. So the service you get is in its purest form. It's similar to me. I don't charge my client, my selling agents. I charge my buying as a buyer's agent. And that to me is, there's someone who's giving you their all to get you the best, and they're not taking a cent from you. I mean, to have trust in that relationship is a beautiful thing. But what I'm motivating more and more now is, and why people need to be pre-approved, is that once you're pre-approved and the docs are there, the period in which you can finalize the bond in the OTP allows you to fight on the rate. Fighting on the rate will save you hundreds of thousands of rand. Use your time to fight on that instead of, I've only just submitted to the banks, 2 days left, agent, I need more time. agent has 3 other buyers lined up and now you need more time. You've got to accept the first bond and run through. And here's the other thing, buyers. Look at your OTP. The OTP will say, you need to secure a bond from a financial institution, full stop. That bond could be 10% plus prime. It won't be, but it could be 10% plus prime. If that's the case and you've got an ARP, an approval in principle, you fulfilled the conditions of the bond. And now you don't have time to deal with the rate because you've got 2 days to accept that.
100%.
So
100%.
again, get pre-approved. I cannot enforce that enough. It's a free exercise as well.
It is. And it also gives you an idea. I think we also went over the forecasted rates as well in that pre-approval process. So now there's that, sort of vision that you have as to what you can expect in terms of your pricing. And we work out how much would the installments work out to, more or less, so that you have the time, you have the luxury of time because you're now well prepared in advance.
Very much.
And one of the other interesting things is also we've got that 30-year bond, where back in the day, I mean, when we did our last house in Johannesburg and that, I don't remember 30-year being such a big thing anymore. Now it's obviously...
Now it's something.
Yeah.
And that makes a big difference as well. When you're paying early installments on a 30-year bond, you're saving...
That's the thing, definitely. And because there's an access feature available for you on the facility, you can make up for, the extension of time later down the line. But your upfront shocker of the bond, you just want to have some relief, have that, as a backup plan. So that's always such a good thing. And some of the banks, in fact, they only go up to 25. With Nedbank, they only go up to 25, but we were fortunate to go up to 30 in this instance with the bank that we secured the home loan through, the building loan through. And so I'm very, very chuffed that it was an overall positive experience.
It was a complete
it was,
success.
For such what can be a daunting experience,
Yes.
it really was made as smooth and comfortable as it could have been, thanks to the likes of you as professionals.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Yay! Yay! Boom! I'm so happy. Thank you so much again for joining us today and for sharing your story with us, because it's going to empower people out there that are in the similar situations, that are moving over from Durban, moving over from from Joburg, Johannesburg, and wanting to set up here in Cape Town, the mother city. It is booming right now. Speak to Gabriel, Surdo Prop. He knows what's happening in this market in Cape Town. It's a hot market right now. If you want to be in a similar position as this beautiful story that's just unfolded before us, please get in touch with Gabriel. Please get in touch with myself. We are here to assist you in your buying process. And who knows, you could be in studio with us and talking to us about your story and your positive outcome that you've experienced. Thank you.